Aloha, this is Uncle Onyu again with another project from the Kauai Museum. Hope you're doing well. This is what we're doing today. We are doing Lauhala Anthuriums. The nice thing about the Anthurium is kind of similar to a heart. And you know, heart is a symbol, international symbol of love and care and hope. So that's what we're doing today. And the tools that we need would be the mau or the strips, and I have 5. And you can use as many as you want, but since this is a kind of tutorial, I'm just going to make it as simple as possible. And then a ruler might be nice, some floral tape. I need a couple extra mau. A piece of raffia is also good, a little clip to hold the project, and of course scissors. We also need a tool like this, but I call it the pick. So when you work, this lauhala is about 12 inches long and about 3/8 of an inch wide. So I'm gonna kind of spray it a bit to gain some flexibility, and I'm not doing one at a time, I'm just giving them all one time. There we go. So I have 5 strips to the hala. And what I will do is I need to connect 5 of them, but like these are extra. So what needs to be done is that you need to kind of trim off the sides so that there are no gaps between the strips. Okay, I'm going to clean that off. I'm going to put the 2 strips on the outside. Doesn't really matter, but you got to get the good side. There's the bad side. I'm going to put it here. I'm going to get the good side here, and because the good side all need to face out. Okay, now I was kind of careful enough not to spray this area because we need to put a tape, and this masking tape is going to keep the project together. There we go. Tape it like this. I'm going to flip it over, cover it like this, and then I'm going to trim off the rest of the tape, and we are ready to rock and roll. So now that I have this covered, I'm going to spray it one more time just to make sure that it's nice and flexible and moistened so it doesn't crack on me. Okay, so what happens is this. It's always good to use your nails to be sure that you have a really nice fold. So I'm going to put my nail over here, and let's see, I'm going to bring this one here down, the second one down. And then the second, third stays up, the fourth comes down, and then what happens is that the one on the far left, I make sure that I put a nail over here and bring it over like this. So now it becomes like a horizontal piece, and it is to create the pattern of the Anthurium. So I'm going to get the next one, put my fingernail here, bring it across. Oop. Make sure that it doesn't fight me. There we go. And then all the while what I'm doing is I'm pulling to the left, because when you pull to the left you're almost being sure that there are no gaps. Yeah, here we go. That comes up over here, this comes down, and then I'm going to bring this over like this, and then I have that. So now I have 4 horizontal, 1 vertical. I'm going to move this way, and then I'm going to take the one on the far left and bring that down. I'll bring this down. I am going to get the horizontal one and bring that up, and then I'm going to put my nail right at the edge over here because I am going to make it turn this way. And then we continue the same process, pulling to the left. Yeah, when you bring it up, you just don't put it up like this. You got to make sure you pull just a hair and then come down. Yeah, and then I'm going to grab the one on the far left, make this into a horizontal piece. There we go. There we go. And then the far left goes across. So what needs to be done, you need to do this 4 times. Okay, this comes up. I'm going to turn my project. It's easier when you make all the mau turn one way all the time when you're doing that certain type of fold, because it makes it easier for you to adapt to the pattern. Yeah. Then I'm gonna put this across. So this is my third process. Now I have only 5 ma'u or strips. You can use so many. You know, the more strips you add, the thinner it is. To me, it looks a little bit more complex, but for learning purposes, this suits fine. Yeah, and I'm gonna bring this over like this. So now this is only 5 ma'u or 5 strips of lauhala, 3/8 inches wide. Okay, so now this is my last one. I'm gonna bring this down here. This comes down, and then this, the far left horizontal piece comes up. I crease it, and then I bring it over. Now this is gonna be the last section that I'm doing. Yeah, up and down, up and down, and then vertical comes across. This comes up, this comes down, and all the while I'm pulling to my left, yeah, just so that there we go. Pulling to my left to remove any type of gaps that might occur. There we go. So this is just about the last one. Here we go. This goes up over here. Then this comes down over here. And since I have 1, 2, 3, I am good. So what I'm doing, I'm going to put it over here. I'm going to get a clip and hold it here, and this ends the flower. Yeah. So now we move on to the next step. Now we're going to do the tassel. Now the tassel or the pollinator or whatever you call this is the stick that comes up through the anthurium. So I have 2 pieces identical to the width of these. What I'm going to do is I am going to make the tassel. So the good side faces down, and I bring this in half. I am going to get this other piece, and I'm going to put this in half, and then I'm going to slip it inside of the other 2 halves there. Now, this is like a 45-degree angle, but the tassel will occur in this direction. Yeah? Okay, so with that in mind, what needs to be done is that I am going to, we could keep it on the ground, it's easier for you to see. I'm going to bring this over. I call this an intersection. Where there's an intersection, you know that it needs to fold down. I'm going to get this, come down, and then this goes in a 45-degree angle, sort of like this. And then that comes over. From here, I'm going to flip it over. Where's the intersection? This is an intersection right here. Yeah, you see this? So this comes down, and then the one behind it goes over. Now, the lowest point is this one over here. So let's do another fold here. This is your intersection right here. So I'm going to bring this down and then bring this other one over. Yeah. So now I'm going to flip it over. And then I have an intersection over here. I'm going to bend this down and bring this over. Sometimes it's easier to just put it in your hand, but for explanation purposes, this works best. Okay, just nice and flat. I'm going to bring this back, intersection. I'm going to do 2 one time, to one side, yeah? And then I'm going to flip this puppy over. And then I'm going to, the intersection is here. I'm going to bring this down. And then this goes in this direction. There. This comes up. I'm going to, there's another intersection here, but this is the lowest point. So we got to bring that lowest point up. So we come up over here. This comes over and down. And then I'm going to flip this puppy over. The intersection here, I'm going to bring down. And this comes across. Okay, and so we're doing it 2 times on one side because this is the lowest point. We want it to come catch up with the rest. There. Then we're gonna flip this puppy over. Intersection there, bring that across. And remember, it's 40 in a 45-degree angle, yeah? Go. And I'm gonna lift this up to make sure that we all have it together. Now flip this over, bring back from that intersection there. And then this comes over. And we're almost getting close to the finished length. Flipping this over here. Come here, that goes across. And then this is the lower piece, so I'm going to bring this down and bring this over. Now, I am thinking that we are pretty good for the length, yeah? Let's see. This should be just good enough. And then so what I'm going to do to stop it from kind of unraveling, I'm just going to kind of pinch it all to one area and then get a little piece of raffia. And I'm going to wrap it so it doesn't run away from me. When I tie it like this, I like to wrap it a couple times, not just one tie, yeah? Or one wrap. There we go. And so this is done. And then in order to give your tassel a little bit of dimension, I like to kind of make it kind of round like this, yeah? Just so it's not so flat. There. Now we're ready to put the two of them together. I am going to get this over here, making sure that it's nice and moist. What happens is that I'm going to take this off and then start rolling this. Rolling it like you're rolling sushi. Make it nice and hard. And then I'm going to put this right over here. When I start to roll, this section in the center remains almost stationary and everything else turns. So it's going to be like this. I'm going to turn it and keeping this other place stationary. There we go. And then while that happens, it kind of brings out the sides. There we go. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this area here, fold it, and bring it underneath the flower. There. And this is then we can start shaping the flower. Yeah. But before that, we gotta keep this from moving. So another piece of raffia, and then I'm gonna wrap it really good so it's nice and tight. And then the process of shaping it. It's just a matter of preference, a matter of taste, how you do it. But like, as long as you have the image and keep in mind that this is a part of a heart flower, there. Another thing we could do to hide all of this section here is to cut this at an angle so that it's kind of smaller. And then we're going to get some floral tape. It's easier if I just cut a section off. And then we are going to wrap the area to hide some of the ties that we did, yeah? There we go. And I guess that'd be good enough. Now, since this floral tape, it doesn't really grab it well, so I'm gonna cut it. And then just to prevent it from unraveling, Sometimes you come across some nice floral tape that you don't have to do this extra process, but nah, it doesn't deter from the beauty of the flower. Of course, it's handmade, yeah, and that is the charm about it. And if it does have some flaws to it, hey, that's the characteristic that gives your flower some character. Clean the table. And this is my nice Anthurium, an expression and symbol of love and care. There you go. Aloha.